इवन सर जैसे पीएम मोदी जब अपनी विजिट के लिए गए थे तो प्रियंका गांधी, आरफा खानम, राना अयूब, ये सब ऐसे थे कि जब वो वहाँ पर चले गए थे तो सबने ये बोला कि अच्छा आप जा रहे हो ना तो प्लीज वहाँ पे पैलेस्टीनियंस के साथ जो हो रहा है उस पर भी बोल कर आना। पीएम मोदी के लिए ये सारी चीजें बोली।
Gazawadis, this Arfa Khanam, Swara Bhaskar. I mean, how insensitive of you to sit in front of a camera doing your makeup and talking about people of Gaza. How can you put up your makeup on your face and say, I need to look pretty, but children in Gaza are dying, oh my God. That means, it's fine for me. मैं तो शाम में इफ्तारी में चिकन मसलम खाऊंगी. Like Arifa Khanam, she's going to iftar parties. You know, उसके Instagram पे देखो. मैं तो चिकन मसलम खाऊंगी, मगर गाजा के बच्चे भूखे मर रहे हैं तो मैं सिंपल खाना नहीं खा सकती. But मेरे को गाजा से बहुत प्यार है. Exactly. गाजा के नाम पे मैं बहुत इफ्तार करूंगी, ट्रिपल खाऊंगी, but oh my God, Gazans are dying. This is hypocrisy to its best. These are the people who basically want to monetize suffering of people. Okay, let's be fair. Greta Thunberg went to Israel, to Palestine. She went to that. She tried through that boat, right? Why hasn't Arifa Khanam or Rana Ayyub tried to go to Gaza and work on the ground? They can go to Washington. They can go to London. They can put their shopping bags on the top. What stopped Rana and Arifa to say we want to donate for the cause? We want to work on the ground with the children. Exactly. As journalists, let us at least go there. Let us try. When was Arifa Khanam last tried to get into Gaza? A sense of being targeted by the same ecosystem, same kind of political violence against these two communities anywhere in the world, and I think that is something which we have seen. But I think the kind of, I would say this was more like a personalized visit. Usually state to state visits are very diplomatic, very formal events. But what we saw in Israel was something which was beyond diplomacy, which was more of a personal touch. It was like two families coming together and celebrating each other, right? 100% in your bucket list. And anything India does, Israel is going to say, yeah, we're going to support you. There was time when Israelis have played dirty with India as well, right? When it comes to geopolitics, states are brutal. But let's say, is Israel somebody we cannot count on? Absolutely not. Israel is one ally, I think, of India in the Middle East, which India can blindly count on, and Israelis have stood up to India.
इवन पीएम मोदी ने अपनी विजिट के दौरान मतलब वहाँ के जो एक्टर्स थे फौदा सीरीज के, वो उनके साथ सेल्फी शेयर की थी और उन्होंने फिर एक मतलब जो कैप्शन दिया था वो भी दिया था कि थैंकफुली दिस इंटरेक्शन रिक्वायर्ड ओनली अ सेल्फी, नो अंडरकवर वर्क.
Which was nice and cheeky because this tells you the personalized touch. Usually PM doesn't tweet something like that.
Yeah.
See, Fauda is something which is a big hit on Netflix, right? It's a most watched series.
Yep.
It's about Mossad. वैसे भी Mossad का लेकर people are very curious because they have a legendary status of carrying out these kind of operations, and they have done some fantastic work when it comes to intelligence, right?
Hello and welcome back to the Pamphlets War Room podcast. मैं हूँ राणा सिंह और हमारे साथ है राजा मुनीब सर. हेलो सर.
हेलो रानू, कैसे हो?
बहुत बढ़िया सर, आप कैसे हैं?
एकदम बढ़िया.
तो सर आज हम बात करने वाले हैं, अभी पीएम मोदी जो गए थे इजराइल और उस विजिट में काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंटरनेट पे काफ़ी कुछ हुआ है. नेतन्याहू ने इतना अच्छा जेस्चर दिखाए हैं, उनके जो रिलेशनशिप हैं वो इस तरीके से थे, अपनी वाइफ को जिस तरीके से, मतलब काफ़ी सारी वीडियोस वायरल हुई हैं और इसमें जियोपॉलिटिकली काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें आई हैं. तो आज हम इसी चीज़ से डिस्कस करना शुरू करते हैं कि पहले तो आप बताइए कि जियोपॉलिटिकली इस विजिट की क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है.
जो इम्पोर्टेंस है इट्स वेरी वेरी हाई. Why? Because you have to understand that Israel का जो ट्रेडिशनली एक ally रहा है, that has been US. ठीक है? The way Israel operates its geopolitical relationships, I think after United States, if there is one country where Israel has shown a lot of, you can say, magnanimity and a lot of, friendship and trust, that is with India. Okay. You don't see these kind of state which is happening in Israel, and the kind of welcome, the kind of gesture the Israelis put with PM Modi, you hardly see them doing with other world leaders as well, right? It's a very personalized touch. So it's very, very important in two factors. One, it tells you that how close India and Israel relationships are. And look, at the moment, if we talk about in terms of pure numbers, it's about a 3.8 billion trade between Israel and India, right? Okay. But the potential is much higher. Now, the potential is not only higher, you have to understand also that Israel brings to the table a lot of things which, not much is talked about or underscored in a lot of things. First is technology. Okay. Second is when we talk about defense technology, in terms of AI and agriculture, but above all, intelligence. राइट क्योंकि अगर आप देखोगे देयर आर ओनली टू कंट्रीज व्हिच आर वेरी वेरी क्लियर व्हेन इट कम्स टू डीलिंग विद टेररिज्म दे हैव अ वेरी ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट अप्रोच others all of them operate in more or less grades of shade of grays right Israel and India are the only two countries which have a very clear vision when it comes to terror and dealing with terror. Now you also have to understand the IMEC corridor ka jo isme hai which basically you know the whole Gaza thing blew up and the whole October 7th happened because the Iranians wanted to jeopardize that whole thing, right? So you have to understand the relationships what India enjoys at the moment with the Middle East, especially with the UAE, right? And with the Saudis to some extent. Then you club that with the Indian interest with Israel and in the region. And it's not that we have very bad relationships with Iran also. We do have we have decent relationships with Iran. It's a working relationship. Nothing more than working relationship. But given the fact that the potential of trade, the potential of, you can say partnerships is humongous. Right. So in that sense, it is very, very important of what we saw because there was a lot of talk about defense deals happening, Israelis supplying their top of the tech, top of the shelf defense equipments, the missiles, the cruise missiles, iron beam, jo wo use karte hai drone ka, right? Those kind of technology transfers happening with India or partnerships where we can do that, and that is a very, very critical piece of defense equipment which we are talking about here. And for Israelis to come forward and share that kind of defense technology with India tells you how important Israel thinks that India is in its own geopolitical, or its own global stage. How much they rely on India. Let's not forget that Israel has always been there.
Yeah.
Right? And tell me which prime minister in the world has the distinction of holding the highest civilian
award.
The highest civilian award from Palestine as well as from Israel.
Yeah, that is
Prime Minister Modi, right?
Very
so
surprising.
That tells you the depth of Indian diplomacy. This tells you the brilliance of Indian diplomacy, how we have been able to balance the relationships without antagonizing either the one or the other. We are very clear on our stand when it comes to the issue of Palestine, but we are very, very clear on our stance when it comes to the issue of Hamas. Right?
Even सर जैसे पीएम मोदी जब अपनी विजिट के लिए गए थे तो प्रियंका गांधी, आरफा खानम, राना अयूब, ये सब ऐसे थे कि जब वो वहाँ पर चले गए थे तो सबने ये बोला कि अच्छा आप जा रहे हो ना तो प्लीज़ वहाँ पे पैलेस्टीनियंस के साथ जो हो रहा है उस पर भी बोल कर आना. पीएम मोदी के लिए ये सारी चीज़ें बोल रही थी. और फिर आरफा ने प्रियंका गांधी की फ़ोटो लगाकर बोला था कि जो पैलेस्टीन वो सपोर्ट कर रही थी तो उसमें लगाते हुए बोला था कि हमारा नेता ऐसा हो. तो इस टाइप से तो मतलब जब हमारी टेक्स पता है सबको कि ऐसा नहीं है कि हम सिर्फ इजराइल का सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, इक्वली हम गाजा का भी उतना ही सपोर्ट करते हैं, एड्स भी भेजते हैं, उसके बावजूद भी ये लोग ये नैरेटिव क्यों फैला रहे हैं?
देखो आरफा खानम कैन से एनीथिंग शी वांट्स टू से, ठीक है. शी वांट्स प्रियंका गांधी टू बी हर लीडर, तो लेट हर बी हर लीडर ना, जो गो वोट फॉर हर एंड लेट हर बी हर लीडर. द प्रॉब्लम इज ऑल दीज Gazawadis, this Arfa Khanam, वो Swara Bhaskar. I mean, how insensitive of you to sit in front of a camera doing your makeup and talking about people of Gaza. How can you put up your makeup on your face and say, I need to look pretty, but children in Gaza are dying, oh my God.
And
how does this work?
कि उन मिलियन लोगों में से मैं नहीं आती जो पीएम मोदी रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं.
This is derogatory. You are denigrating those people who have been killed in war between Israel and Palestine by putting on a makeup and talking about it. I mean, it's shit show, theater show, nothing else, nothing more, right? A real person who feels the pain doesn't sit in front of a camera applying makeup and talking about these things. That means, oh, it's fine for me. मैं तो शाम में इफ्तारी में चिकन मसलम खाऊंगी. Like Arifa Khanam, she's going to iftar parties. You know, उसके Instagram पे देखो. मैं तो चिकन मसलम खाऊंगी, मगर गाजा के बच्चे भूखे मर रहे हैं, तो मैं सिंपल खाना नहीं खा सकती. But मेरे को गाजा से बहुत प्यार है.
Exactly.
गाजा के नाम पे मैं बहुत इफ्तार करूंगी, ट्रिपल खाऊंगी, but oh my God, Gazans are dying. This is hypocrisy to its best, right? Nothing more, nothing less. और problem ये है कि these people are so away from reality. The problem with people like Arfa and people like Rana को तो छोड़ दो. I mean, she has no moral authority. She has swindled so much of money of innocent people in the name of COVID. She's a thug. basically, right? She's nothing but a thug, in my opinion. So these are the people who basically want to monetize suffering of people. ये लोग हमेशा ये कोशिश करेंगे कि जहाँ पर भी इस टाइप की सफरिंग है उस पे हम पैसे कैसे कमाएं और अपनी ऐश और आराम कैसे करें. Okay, let's be fair. Greta Thunberg went to Israel, to Palestine. She went to that. She tried through that boat. Tried to. Why hasn't Arifa Khanum or Rana Ayub tried to go to Gaza and work on the ground? They can go to Washington. They can go to London. They can put their shopping bags on the top. What stopped Rana and Arifa to say we want to donate for the cause? We want to work on the ground with the children. Exactly. As journalists, let us at least go there. Let us try. When was Arifa Khanum last tried to get into Gaza?
True.
Right? So this is all a fashion statement they want to make. And this is the problem with these people. The problem is they provide intellectual... See, in name of Gaza, they basically want to say that the terrorism which is perpetrated from the soil of Palestine is okay. They want to legitimize terrorism. And अगर आप इनका ये pattern देखोगे, they only support violence and terrorism. And that is where the problem lies. So these people are a part of the problem, not a part of the solution. And I don't think anybody takes them seriously.
या ट्रू. एंड सर जब अभी मतलब ये विजिट हुई है तो इसमें ये चीज़ काफ़ी ज़्यादा आई कि ज्यूज़ कितना ज़्यादा इंडिया को पसंद करते हैं. हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर को वहाँ पे किस तरीके से ट्रीट किया गया, इतनी रिस्पेक्ट दी गई, मतलब हर जगह इतना ज़्यादा लव 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 ये था. तो अगर डिप्लोमेसी की बात की जाए तो 1992 से आई गेस हम लोगों ने अपनी डिप्लोमेसी स्टार्ट की थी.
And don't forget that time Congress was in power.
एंड वो ओपनली नहीं करते थे मतलब पैलेस्टीन का सपोर्ट, इसलिए वो दोनों के लिए इजराइल के साथ ओपनली जो रिलेशंस थे वो कभी मेंटेन नहीं किया. और फिर इंडियन प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो पहली बार इजराइल पे गए वो पीएम मोदी.
And don't forget that despite we not being very open with the Israelis was the first ones who came and helped us in Kargil by providing us the weapons. Right? Now, it is not about Jews. It is not about religion. It is not about Jews or Hindus or Muslims. It is about a nation. It is about a nation which believes that the core values of these two nations are merged together, are on the same pedestal. Right? The Jews feel persecuted.
Everywhere.
And they are persecuted. Look at the way Bondi Beach attack happened. It was targeted on Jews. US में देखो anti-Semitism is high. Exactly. UK में anti-Semitism is very very high. It's very bad.
तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया से cases
right. Yeah. UK is extremely bad. So it's not same is the case with Indians. Same is the case with Hindus. Right? You see wherever they get it. Bangladesh में देखो Hindus का हाल. Pakistan में देखो Hindus का हाल. Right? Look at the way Leicester riots happened in UK and Hindus were targeted. So it's not that they are not targeted. There is a common sense of being targeted by the same ecosystem, same kind of political violence against these two communities anywhere in the world. And I think that is something which we have seen. But I think the kind of, I would say this was more like a personalized visit. Usually state-to-state visits are very diplomatic, very formal events. But what we saw in Israel was something which was beyond diplomacy, which was more of a personal touch. It was like two families coming together and celebrating each other, right? So that is the kind of relationship you're trying to build. Now, let's not forget that, let's not say that everything is hunky-dory and Israel is going to be 100% in your bucket list. And anything India does, Israel is going to say, yeah, we're going to support you. There was time when Israelis have played dirty with India as well, right? When it comes to geopolitics, states are brutal. But let's say, is Israel somebody we cannot count on? Absolutely not. Israel is one ally, I think, of India in the Middle East, which India can blindly count on. And Israelis have stood up to India. And Israel ka bada simple hai, agar aap dekhoge, they're very, very aggressive towards people when they talk about two-state solutions, right? But when it comes to India, that respect maintains, that respect stays. And that is why I think this relationship is very, very important.
Okay. And अभी जो Israel launch करने वाला है Hexagon, हाँ, तो उसमें फिर इंडिया मतलब पार्टिसिपेट करेगा या फिर सिर्फ सेंटर में रहेगा?
See, Hexagon Alliance की अगर आप बात करते हो, Hexagon Alliance is a very, very loose term. Basically, what Netanyahu is saying कि Hexagon Alliance में I want to create a ring of countries in the Middle East who look eye to eye and who will tackle the radical Shias and the radical Sunnis. Okay. Who are the radical Shias and who are the radical Sunnis? Right? how in the Middle East are you going to get these countries, Algeria and all that, and ask them ki, you need to put a heft into it. It's a very loose formation. It's a very loose kind of a term. I don't think Hexagon Alliance is something which any country is going to say that we want to be a part of it, because that means antagonizing, in geopolitics, in statecraft. You don't put black and white false. I mean, what are we going to get out of it? We have to see our own interest. Tomorrow, if let's say today Saudi-Israel relationships are very good. Saudi wants to, sign the Abraham Accords as well. But let's say tomorrow they deteriorate. Let's say Iran goes weak and Saudi wants to exert its influence. Turkey wants to exert its influence. We already know there is a problem between the Israelis and the Turks, right?
Yeah.
The next target is going to be Erdogan. The Americans and the Israelis would want to take him down.
Yeah.
Okay? So that is where the next geopolitical theater will start. So in that case, how does India work around it? So I think hexagonal jo alliance jiski Netanyahu baat karta, I don't think even he's very clear on what he wants onto it. He's very loosely, broadly termed it as radical this and radical that. What is radical, what is not radical in the Middle East is a question of debate.
Okay.
Right? Because given the interest, a radical become a non-radical, and non-radical can become a radical overnight as well. So depend karta. So I think it's a very loose formation. It is something he's talking about. It is not something which is going to come on papers very soon.
Okay, so India usme abhi join.
I don't think hexagon as a concept will float beyond Netanyahu's mind. It's not going to get into a place where there will be some formal movement onto hexagon thing. I think it's an idea on the paper which is going to die on paper.
ओके इवन पीएम मोदी ने अपनी विजिट के दौरान मतलब वहाँ के जो एक्टर्स थे फौदा सीरीज़ के वो उनके साथ सेल्फी शेयर की थी, और उन्होंने फिर एक मतलब जो कैप्शन दिया था वो भी दिया था कि थैंकफुली दिस इंटरेक्शन रिक्वायर्ड ओनली अ सेल्फी, नो अंडरकवर वर्क.
Which was nice and cheeky, because this tells you the personalized touch. Usually PM doesn't tweet something like that.
Yeah.
See, Fauda is something which is a big hit on Netflix, right? It's the most watched series.
Yep.
It's about Mossad. वैसे भी Mossad का लेकर people are very curious because they have a legendary status, of carrying out these kind of operations, and they have done some fantastic work when it comes to intelligence, right? So I think he was trying to be a bit more, I would say, personalized and a bit more cheeky and a bit more cool. जिसको हम कहते हैं ना, वो एक cool language है, because
exactly.
So it was a fresh thing. It was something very different, very fresh what we saw. It was nice. It was nice, yeah.
Even इससे फिर ये भी था कि जैसे फौदा जो सीरीज़ है, जो हमारे कंट्री में पैलेस्टीन के जो एक्टिविस्ट हैं वो फौदा सीरीज़ को बिल्कुल भी पसंद नहीं करते हैं. तो जब ये शेयर किया तो इससे भी वो लोग काफ़ी चिढ़ गए थे, जो ये पूरा सिस्टम है जो बिल्कुल सपोर्ट नहीं करता.
ये बिल्कुल सपोर्ट नहीं करते. मैंने वही कहा ना, ये सपोर्ट नहीं करते, बट ये देखते हैं, ये उसी पे मोनेटाइज अपने आप को ट्विटर पे करते हैं, उसको गाली निकाल के, राइट? दे आर इररिलेवेंट पीपल. India is not going to decide what is in its interest based on people what they are writing on Twitter. You can write anything on Twitter. You can do anything you want to do, but we are not going to decide what you like or what you don't like, right? So these people can say we don't like Fauda. Why don't they like Fauda? Because they show that how terrorists are taken down. These people have sympathy for terrorists. That is what I said. देखो, Palestine के cause के लिए और terrorism or supporting Palestine, and that is what India has done. India has supported Palestine. Two-state solution. India has always said that. Abhi recently UN में voting में भी India did the same thing. We stood for the two-state solution for Palestine. But that doesn't mean you have to stand for terrorists. The problem with these people is they see terrorists as legitimate people when it comes to a two-state solution. They think this is the only way that is wiping out Israel will become two-state. That tells you how Islamicized, how radical your mind beyond your so-called liberal burqa which you wear on top. These people are basically hardcore Islamists wearing a liberal burqa. ये liberal burqa पहनते हैं.
True.
Right? ये Islamist burqa नहीं पहनते हैं. ये तुमको Islamist burqa पहनाएंगे मगर खुद को liberal dress में घूमेंगे. I call it liberal. Yeah, I call it liberal burqa because उसके पीछे जो इनका असली जो चेहरा है वो बहुत different है.
True. और सर जैसे 26/11 में भी जब अटैक हुआ था इंडिया में, तो उसमें भी ज्यूज पे स्पेशली टारगेट किया गया था. तो वो हिंदूज और मतलब जो इंडियन्स थे उन पर तो अटैक था ही, और हाँ एग्जैक्टली. तो उस चीज़ को भी वो लोग नहीं मानते और ये सारी चीज़ें.
See, you have to understand that these people, आज देखो Pakistan Afghanistan conflict चल रहा है. Not even a single tweet on people killed in Afghanistan, children killed in Afghanistan. क्यों? Because they know it is going to annoy Pakistanis. Pakistanis are going to come after them, or whatever it is, right? Why? Are children in Afghanistan less mortal than children of Gaza?
Gaza.
खैबर पख्तूनख्वा में जो बच्चे मरते हैं वो किसी के बच्चे नहीं हैं. उनके लिए तुम्हारा दिल नहीं धड़कता है? वो मुसलमान के बच्चे नहीं हैं. सिर्फ गाजा में मुसलमान रहते हैं और कहीं नहीं रहते दुनिया में.
सर लगता तो ऐसा ही है.
राइट. तो इन लोगों की हिपोक्रेसी जो है वो इनको एक्सपोज करती है. एंड I mean, they want to live in a Gaga land. Let them live in a Gaga land. How does it matter? The reality doesn't change. The reality is they are sympathizers. They are sympathizers. They are sympathizers of violence. They are sympathizers of violence. They always will be. And they know that every terrorist organization, whether, are targeting the Jews and the Hindus, Pakistani-based terrorist organizations, they have this inherent thing against Jews. You can't deny it. Are you going to say, no, it is not there? Yes, it is there. But are you willing to raise your head and say, no, this is wrong, this should not be there? Absolutely not. None of them have the courage to say that. How many of them have said that let's find a peaceful solution to a two-state? Okay, the terrorism part has to go. Hamas we cannot support, but we support that the UN should sit down and find a solution to it. None of them.
Yeah.
They justify terrorism in the name of a cause. They are what we label as white collar terrorists.
Yeah.
Because you give intellectual sanctity to violence on the ground, and once you do that, you are part of that ecosystem. You're linked to that chain. It's as simple as that.
ओके सर, इवन डिफेंस डील जो हुई है उसमें भी मैंने कुछ इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को देखा था. तो उसमें उन लोगों ने जो शेयर किया ये था कि अगर हम इंडिया आत्मनिर्भर भारत है तो फिर हम ये डिफेंस डील्स क्यों कर रहे हैं जो हम लोगों ने किया है बीम एंड ऑल का, तो वो हम क्यों कर रहे हैं फिर?
So you have to understand that there is something called technology transfer. When you do these deals with an aim that the technology which is in these things will be transferred eventually to India, and India will be able to then copy or then work on these technologies and build its own.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Till now, India was completely dependent on foreign powers, overwhelmingly over Russia for its defense. Today, India, look at BrahMos, look at Akash, look at Tejas.
Durga.
So many options which India is indigenously doing. How is it doing that? You need technology, na? You got Rafales, you have got technology from Rafales, na? TOT to hai usme, a part of the clause hai. So all these defense experts, I don't think ye just so-called defense experts, they are even defense experts, right? They are just there to create chaos and create noise. They don't even understand the D of defense, how it works. And they want to give their opinions. As I said, social media, unfortunately, is a place where people can give whatever opinion they give. Whether their opinion matters or doesn't matter is something else. Whether what you're saying is even relevant, this just exposes how bad you are in what you are saying, that you have no idea what you're talking about. You just want to say because you want to sound intelligent. But you are only exposing your own foolishness and your own dash.
ओके. इवन जैसे कि अभी देखा जाए कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी ज्यूज पे काफ़ी अटैक्स हुए हैं, यूके यूएस मतलब होते रहते हैं. तो सर अब जैसे इंडिया की बात की जाए तो इंडिया में भी काफ़ी जगह है, मुंबई, कोचिन एंड बंगाल, वेस्ट बंगाल में भी काफ़ी सारे ज्यूज रहते हैं. तो आई गेस जो अभी एक इन्फ्लुएंसर भी आए थे वो ज्यूज ही आई थे और उन्होंने ये वीडियो बनाया था कि इंडिया में सबसे ज़्यादा ज्यूज अपने आप को सेफ फील करते हैं. And might be ये भी reason हो सकता है कि why they love us so much.
That is true. देखो, India is civilizationally a country which has always welcomed different faiths, different people. In India, everybody will welcome you. Nobody is going to look at you and say, oh, you're a Jew, you are not allowed in my house. पाकिस्तान में Jew चला जाएगा, उसको बोलेंगे हमारा ग्लास भी टच मत करो. They will look at him with hatred. India civilizationally is a country which has always welcomed people.
Yeah.
Ideas, religions, thoughts, right? We are, I say, the bedrock of what true democracy is. What democracy in true ways means. And they feel comfortable at home because they are welcomed. they don't feel threatened. They are not discriminated because they are Israelis or they are Jews, right? There is no discrimination based on their country, based on their religion. And anywhere where in the world somebody is not discriminated based on their religion, their country, or even their skin color, I think it's a very refreshing change for that person. He feels at home. So that is very, very important. And it's not only about the Jews. Tell me, how many tourists come from all over the world? How many have been discriminated? We don't discriminate people from South Africa. We don't discriminate people from Russia. We don't discriminate Americans. We don't discriminate. We might have political ideologies, but we don't discriminate people based on our political ideologies. We welcome them.
Yeah.
And that is our civilization. That is our civilizational ethos. And we have maintained those civilizational ethos. So I don't see why that should be a problem.
अभी तो वैसे गाज़ा के नाम पे भी सर कितने सारे केसेस चल रहे हैं जहाँ पे बाहर से लोग आते हैं और वो गाज़ा के नाम पे पैसे इकट्ठे करके ले जाते हैं और जो कि वहाँ पे जा भी नहीं रहे हैं. वो इस चीज़ का फायदा.
अभी सीरियन आए हैं, कुछ सीरियन पकड़े हैं हमने. We have arrested some Syrian people who were here in the name of Gaza. See, यही होता है. I remember there was a time when people in the name of Kashmir used to make money. And I'll tell you a personal experience. I remember I landed in Thailand. I was coming on from my university back home, Australia se, and I had a transit.
Okay.
I was in Bangkok, and the first one I met was an Indian guy. And I think he was from UP or somewhere. And he started showing me a pamphlet. कि देखो कश्मीर में क्या हो रहा है, वहाँ क्या हो गया. एंड ही सेड ये हमने अस्पताल बनाया. अब जब उसने वो अस्पताल का मुझे फोटो देखा, वो यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कश्मीर की लाइब्रेरी का फोटोग्राफ था. I just looked at him. I said, do you know where I am from? He said, no. I said, मैं कश्मीरी हूँ. ये यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ कश्मीर की लाइब्रेरी ये क्यों झूठ बोल रहा है? शर्म करो. But this has been a modus operandi of all unscrupulous people to do what they have done in the name of conflicts. There are so many online accounts. Pakistanis opened up in the name of Gaza and they took dollars from people. Hey, Gaza mein log mar gaye. And people donate.
Yeah.
They don't see kaun maang raha hai. You just create emotional content and you just ask for donations. You become up. अब किसको पता है सोशल मीडिया पे रहमती जो है वो पाकिस्तान में अब्दुल है, यहाँ असली में रहमती बैठा हुआ है पैलेस्टीन में, और रहमती के नाम से भीख मांग रहे हैं. लोग बोलते हैं बेचारा है, देते हैं इसको. ठीक है. तो ये भिखारी जितने भी हैं, अनस्क्रूपलस पीपल, इसमें अब राणा यू को देखो ना, कोविड के नाम पे क्या किया उसने. हाय लोग मर रहे हैं, पैसे दे दो, और क्या किया, अपने अकाउंट में डाल दिया. ये जी अनस्क्रूपलस लोग हैं. दे बेसिकली cheaters. They are unscrupulous, moralless people, right? इनका आप क्या कर सकते हो? So you will have all these beggars. अफगानिस्तान के नाम पे इतने लोग इतने साल पैसे मांगते रहे, कश्मीर के नाम पे मांगते रहे. So Gaza is the new humanitarian crisis. तो उसके नाम पे भी भीख मांगेंगे. That is it.
Even अगर जैसे अब देखा जाए सर, तो मोदी गवर्नमेंट के आने के बाद मतलब जो हमारे जैसे पीएम हमारे फोर्स थे जो उधर गए थे, इससे पहले कभी नहीं गए थे.
2017 में.
हाँ, इजराइल ने हमारी इतनी हेल्प की थी, मतलब कारगिल वॉर में भी इतनी ज़्यादा हेल्प की थी उन्होंने. इवन जब 26/11 हुई थी उस टाइम पे भी इंटेलिजेंस शेयर हुई थी. ठीक है. उसके बावजूद भी कभी भी कांग्रेस ने ओपनली अपने रिलेशंस को यहाँ पे नहीं एक्सेप्ट किया. और अब यही बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट इन रिलेशंस को ट्रेड में देखा जाए हर जगह में कितना आगे ले गई है. तो उन्होंने इस चीज़ को कैसे एक पॉजिटिव पॉइंट देके इसका मतलब सही इस्तेमाल किया इस चीज़ को.
ठीक, देखो कांग्रेस ने क्या किया क्या नहीं किया. कांग्रेस की प्रॉब्लम ये थी कि कांग्रेस नेवर ऑलवेज वाज समथिंग हु बिलीव दैट इंडिया इज एन apologetic country. Congress always had that apologetic mindset when it came to dealing with them. Congress never had India first. No, we really need to take this country from here to here. They always saw, oh, we have these problems, we need to solve them. Slowly. A very leftist kind of a way of working, कि चलो हम तो पावर में हैं और आहिस्ता हम करते हैं. But India has moved on from soft power to hard power under Prime Minister Modi. His vision is very, very clear where he wants to see India. He recognizes the potential of India. The Congress never recognized the potential of India. Congress was happy with खाओ पियो ऐश करो, तुम भी ऐश करो, हम भी ऐश करते हैं, right?
True.
But he's out there to change the image of the country, and he has achieved a lot. So now if your relationships are very open with countries, I think it's a good thing.
Okay.
Right? Your friends are described, your enemies are described. And when, see, as I said, if you look at the terror threats India has and Israel has, it comes from the radical Islamist terrorism. Right?
Exactly.
There is a lot of scope to share intel between Israel and India and work together on all those terror groups which have both Israel and India in their crosshairs.
Even Hamas or Abhi Lakshal,
whether it is Hamas, whether it is Jaish-e-Mohammed, whether it is Lashkar-e-Toiba, all of them have both Israel and India as targets.
Yeah.
Right? So it works for us that we work together in intelligence field and we work against these organizations. We have a common enemy. So it makes sense for us to have a good intelligence sharing as well. It's absolutely fine.
इवन एक और चीज़, बस मैं ये लास्ट चीज़ जानना चाहूँगी, जो हम लोगों ने अगर हिस्ट्री में देखा जाए तो जब वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ था तो इंडियंस ने कैसे इजराइल का जो हाइफा सिटी थी उसको बचाया था.
See, World War II की अगर आप बात करते हो तो at that point of time Israel as a country didn't exist. Haifa was
वो Jews की जो था.
Yeah, you were fighting for the British.
Yeah.
Right, you were not fighting for Israel. There was no Israel. Israel came after, the Holocaust came out, and then the state of Israel was born in after World War II, 1949, if I'm correct.
Okay.
Right. So World War में it was all about the British and the German Axis, and Indians were a part of the British Army.
Okay, thank you so much sir. And audience, अगर आपको पॉडकास्ट में कुछ भी क्वेश्चंस हो या कुछ भी बोलना हो तो आप कमेंट बॉक्स में बता सकते हो. एंड ऑलवेज आप राजा मुनीब सर को रीच आउट कर सकते हो, एक्स पे, इंस्टाग्राम पे, इवन यूट्यूब पे भी सर का चैनल है. So thank you so much sir, and do let us know in comment box, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.